Stakeholder mapping is especially important in local authority bids because local authority services are not judged only on technical delivery. They're judged through a wider set of concerns: political, operational, reputational, and resident facing. That means a good answer has to do more than show that we can run the service. It has to show that we understand the environment the authority is operating in. Let's start with political concerns. Local authority services are visible. Elected members may receive complaints from residents, businesses, schools, vulnerable customers, or local campaign groups. Even when members are not formal evaluators, their concerns can shape the authority's risk appetite. So the bid needs to show that the service will be fair, explainable, and controlled. For example, for a given service, the authority will not only ask whether the service is efficient, it will ask whether decisions are proportionate, whether residents are treated fairly, whether vulnerable people are protected, and whether the council can defend the approach publicly. The stakeholder map should therefore identify political sensitivities. Are there areas with high complaint volumes? Are there schools, town centres, business districts, or residential areas that are particularly sensitive? Are there member concerns around fairness, accessibility, income generation, or public perception? The bid implication is that we should not write as if this is only an operational contract. We should show public service judgment. Next are operating concerns. Operational stakeholders want to know how the service will work in practice. They care about staffing, technology, escalation, resilience, supervision, reporting, training, and issue resolution. They may be less impressed by broad corporate capability and more interested in whether the proposed model is practical for their geography, demand profile, and contract requirements. For example, a service answer should not simply say that the resources are flexible. It should show how service decisions are made, how data informs coverage, how supervisors manage performance, how absence is covered, and how the authority will see whether the service is working. Operational stakeholders need evidence of strong management. The stakeholder map should identify who owns operational confidence on the authority side. Is it the head of service, a contract manager, a customer service lead, a technology lead, or a performance manager? Then we should write to their concerns. Third are reputational concerns. For councils, supplier failure is not just supplier failure. It can become a council problem. If a system fails, if the service feels unfair, if complaints are mishandled, if social value promises do not materialise, or if mobilisation causes disruption, the authority may face internal challenge, member pressure, and public concern and criticism. So reputational stakeholders may include communications teams, senior officers, customer services, legal, data protection, equality leads, and political sponsors. They will be interested in risk controls, issue escalation, audit trails, complaint learning, data protection, equality impact, social value delivery, and the supplier's behaviour when something goes wrong. For these stakeholders, the bid should avoid vague assurance language. Do not simply say, we manage risk. Show the risk register, review rhythm, escalation route, owner, evidence, and corrective action process. Do not simply say we protect reputation. Show how resident contact is handled, how vulnerable customers are identified, how complaints are learned from, and how the authority receives early warning of emerging issues. Fourth are resident-facing concerns. Local authority services ultimately affect people. Residents may not know the procurement process exists, but they will experience the outcome. They will use systems, receive information, make complaints, call customer services, interact with officers, read letters, challenge decisions, or ask councillors for help. So the bid needs to explain the resident experience. Is the service accessible? Are the letters clear? Are digital routes easy to use? Are non-digital options available? Are vulnerable customers supported? Are complaints handled properly? Are behaviours professional and proportionate? The stakeholder map should therefore include user groups, not just authority employees. This could include residents, businesses, schools, disabled users, vulnerable customers, parish councillors, town centre users, community groups, and council customer service teams. When we map these groups, we're not saying they all score the bid directly, we're saying their experience shapes the authority's priorities and risks. For local authority bids, a strong stakeholder map should therefore capture 4 layers. Political, who cares about public acceptability and member confidence? Operational, who cares about delivery, control, and performance? Reputational, who worries about complaints, scrutiny, data equality, and failure? Resident facing, who experiences the service and what does fair treatment look like? Once we have that map, we should use it to shape the bid. Political concern becomes alignment, fairness, and defensibility. Operational concern becomes method, ownership, and performance performance control. Reputational concern becomes risk management, governance, and evidence. Resident-facing concern becomes accessibility, vulnerability support, communication, and complaint learning. This is why stakeholder mapping is not an optional front-end exercise. It's a scoring tool. It helps us to write answers that feel local, practical, and safe. And in local authority bidding, that combination matters. Local relevance, practical delivery, and public confidence.